If you're planning a trip to the Amalfi Coast this summer, there are a few things I wish someone had told me before we went. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about when to visit. So I'm a little late posting this video, but ideally it's best to visit during shoulder season, which is May, early June, September, or even October. Summer's peak season. This is obviously a great time to visit for boating and beach clubs, but it's going to be hot, crowded, and expensive, so do what you want with that information. We visited in early October, and although it was crowded at times, it was nothing compared to peak, and the weather was so nice. Now let's talk about where to stay. I personally recommend staying in a central location like Sorrento or Amalfi and taking day trips to other towns like Positano, Ravello, or Pompeii. It's honestly such a pain having to lug around your bags, especially with stairs, and it's going to be a lot less crowded and more cost effective than staying in Positano. However, if you are including Capri on your itinerary, I would highly recommend staying at least a night or two if you can so you can truly experience it. Let's talk about transportation. I personally recommend taking public transportation as much as you possibly can. Renting a car and trying to drive the Amalfi Coast is not for the faint of heart, plus parking is basically non-existent. Although we did run into a couple of issues with ferry cancellations, it really is the best way to get around and the views are amazing. Let me know if you want me to do a separate video on public transportation because I've got a lot to say. My next tip is to book everything, and I mean everything, well in advance, especially if you are traveling during peak season. This includes restaurants, tours, hotels, transportation. This is not a we'll figure it out when we get there kind of destination, trust me. You'll also want to try to start your days as early as possible, like before 9 a.m. This is when the lighting's really good, there's fewer crowds, and the weather is ideal. Or you can save your exploring for the evenings when the tour groups have left. Now we're going to touch on the stair situation on the Amalfi Coast because they are no joke. I'm going to make a separate detailed video on what to pack, but I will say wear comfortable shoes and pack light. It is absolute torture having to lug your suitcase up and down steep staircases. Plus, not everywhere has elevators, so leave the big bag at home, ladies. Drop any questions in the comments and head to the next video for part 2.